Wow. I want to say, brother. This is what I want to say
Brother.
right now. This is what
Oh,
I'm in.
well, I thought you were going to start it with some sort of lost joke.
Oh my goodness.
You know,
No, I'm not going to
you,
even get there. It is
oh,
Yeah.
Mike in mind. I'm Hudson Hot. Alan Wagner, LMFT, our therapist. My partner in crime, Scotty B.
Hmm.
Desmond. Oh my gosh.
And Ian Cusick, we know, of course, well, as all kinds of things, but Desmond from Lost is how we met him originally.
well, we met in the Honolulu Boys Choir.
That's right.
I
I,
wasn't in the boys' choir.
Wait,
You
what?
got
you
right.
definitely
I
were.
wasn't there.
We both had sons in the boy choir, and that's how we ended up meeting. My wife actually called me. I don't know if you know this story. She says, "You know that guy that's in the ground?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about? You know, Lost. He's in a bunker." And I'm like, "Yeah, he's here." I'm like, so that's how I knew that
Well,
you were.
Annie kind of gave me the same story about you. You know, he said, you know the guy you listen to on the radio every morning, 101.9, Scotty B.
You know,
Yeah, well, he said he's here. And you know when you hear a voice and you have a mental picture of the voice,
Yep.
yeah,
you were nothing like it.
I'm sure it was just like
You were nothing like it. I was like, that's the guy with the voice.
yeah.
I remember when you two met because you and I, Ian, had never met, but Scotty would always talk about the choir. And we would
Right.
always say, I
Mm.
got to meet Ian because Daniel Day Kim became a really close friend of ours and would come
Ah,
in all the time and we'd hang out and I'd call him and talk to him. He called from like listening to us on the show and been, oh my God, you guys. And the only person I never met was you.
how come I never came on your show? How come DDK was on the show all the time and I wasn't, Scotty?
You
I
know,
don't know.
that's
Hey,
you,
I didn't even know you're friendly with him.
fair
yeah.
question. Fair question.
Wow. How many years has it been? How many years has it been
20
since
years.
filming? 20
Uh,
years,
Yeah.
right?
it started in 2005 and it ended in 2011 or 12, I
You
think.
know, we just rewatched from beginning to end Lost and loved it more the second time, to be honest with you.
Really?
I think there were some red herrings. There were some things that
Yeah.
Lost did to kind of throw you off.
Yeah.
And now you knew where it was going. You kind of were able to just focus on the things that mattered.
I think
But
this, yeah, having a,
yeah,
when you know something and you're watching it again, knowing what's coming up and watching how they're playing the thing, you kind of go, it's always interesting, I think. Having a second, although having said that, I've not watched it again, but I know that with other films, you know, you kind of watch, this part's going to be, yeah. But I know what you mean. Yeah, it can be very rewarding watching something, seeing how they built it up.
oh, by the way, where are you today?
I'm in Manhattan Beach, and I
In
just finished
California.
California. Yeah, where are you all? I like your background, Hudson.
Oh, well, I'm at home right now. And
Right.
Scotty, where are you at?
I
What is it?
am. You can tell by the back. I'm going to show you the background. You guess where I am, Ian. Okay. I'm going to turn
You're
this way.
oh, oh, wow. That looks like a necropolis or something. Where are you?
Where are you?
That is the Parthenon.
Ah, I was kind
And so obviously I am in Nashville, Tennessee.
of, oh,
What are you
Did
doing
you
in Nashville?
I've never
did you
been.
know they have a Parthenon here? That's crazy, and its
No.
actual
No,
size it is amazing. I
no.
just came out. Yeah, no joke.
Wait,
So
don't
I'm
live
doing
there?
all the Nashville things.
Oh, you're on holiday. I see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, you know what's crazy, Ian, is our show ended. Our
Right.
our show ended, and I
So,
wound up moving to Los Angeles and working in Los Angeles for
okay.
10 years on Alden 8.7. I'm still on there. And the cost of living just became so out of control in LA. And it was just becoming horrible. It was just about working to survive.
Right.
So we came out to North Carolina for a vacation to the Outer Banks and we loved it.
Oh,
Really
I've heard.
reminded us a little
Yeah.
bit of LA, a
Yeah.
lot of Hawaii, the
Yeah.
people,
Right.
people were,
Really.
and the weather, yeah, just
Right.
the
I've not
friendliness,
been.
that aloha thingy, you know?
But
But
Uh,
the
and it,
ironic thing is that my family also had moved to North Carolina. So Hudson and I ended up both of us in North Carolina of all places. Crazy, right?
only a
really
couple
not
hours apart.
knowing that you guys were going to end up there.
Yeah.
When did you guys leave Hawaii? And because you know, you talk about the cost of living. I mean, Hawaii is pretty much up
Oh
there.
yeah. Oh
So,
yeah.
Well,
When did
I
you leave?
you left well before I did, Hudson.
Yeah, I left in 2012.
something
Okay.
like that. We were doing the show
Yeah, we
remotely
were doing it
while
remotely.
we
Nobody
were
knew that.
separate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So I was still in Hawaii. I moved here about 2.5 years ago. Well, to the mainland, not in Nashville.
Yeah,
But
no, I think I knew that. I knew that. Yeah, that's right.
but so we wound up reuniting and having lunch, and we both were longing to be back. We never wanted to be separated. But I had a kid that was working, and he was a young, acting kid and dancing in everybody's music videos, and I had to make the leap. But I never wanted our show to end. It was a number one morning show for 20 years.
Right. Yeah.
And the minute we saw each other, that was it. Because we have this
Reconnected.
chemistry. Yeah.
Yeah, we
Reconnected.
reconnected in
So,
Myrtle Beach. We were both on a trip in Myrtle Beach, and we said
right.
let's do this podcast thing. So
So how
and
long has this podcast been going? Is fairly new, right?
yeah,
Oh yeah, and we like one of the first things is we've got to bring on our friends from Lost because you guys were such a huge part of our show. People
Right.
would call in from the show all the time, and everybody would stop in and
Yeah.
watching the filming and talking
everybody
about
but
it.
Ian, everybody except
Everybody
Ian.
but
You're
Ian,
right. I
right?
mean, that was hard. Bizarrely enough, even though I would see Scotty every week at the boys'
Yeah,
choir.
yeah.
It's Desmond. I can't even call him Ian. It's just
That's so
Desmond.
crazy.
Sorry.
You call me Henry. Call me Henry. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Henry.
Um, but things in Hawaii, because I still live in Hawaii. I never left. I'm just, I'm here in LA. I'm working. I just finished a short, an independent film. But, the film industry, it's changed so much. Film industry in Hawaii is just doing so badly. There's at the moment, I mean, when you guys were there, we had Lost or Magnum or 5-0.
Yeah.
Nothing is being filmed in Hawaii. There's
Really?
nothing. There's nothing at all.
Why is that?
Recent one just got canceled too. The
Yeah, Hawaii
rescue or
just got
whatever.
cancelled. So it's a really that it wasn't life support. I can't. I'm really fearful for the industry.
Is it the taxes? What is it that does?
Yeah,
people?
we just got heard that the tax incentives, which are 50 million a year, are now going to be in 5 years. They're going to scrap them completely. So there'll be no tax incentives. Although
Wow.
Trump did bring up a good point, he's now talking. He brought up nationally that the film industry is across the board.
Oh yeah.
That it's really struggling. So I think we've got eyes on it now, and hopefully some people will get some more tax incentives, if not across more incentives for film to stay in America. And
So yeah,
to
speaking
come
of
to
which,
Hawaii.
because it seems like when you were doing the 100,
Yeah.
another great show, by the way.
Oh yeah, that's a great show.
You're like right in our wheelhouse for the kind of shows we like. But
Sci-fi.
was that Canada?
Yeah, that was Vancouver, and I remember when I was there and I was walking around Vancouver, and they had 34 shows filming there that summer.
Yeah.
And I was like, how on earth? And because they've got the tax credits, they've got the incentives.
That's
people
what it is.
And they've also the location. I mean, Hawaii's got, people say people will come to Hawaii no matter what. That's not true. You have to have a little sweetener for the pot, because places like Vancouver, they've got the forest, they've got the water, they've got the city that doubles up. I mean, it's a great location. It's a great place. I really enjoyed my time there. It's a lovely city to live in. But yeah, so is Hawaii. Unfortunately, I think a lot of people will leave because there's no work.
I know where you can come.
I was just going to say, yeah, I work as a therapist, and most of my clients work in entertainment. And in Los Angeles, same thing. Everybody's coming to North Carolina, Georgia, and Florida right now.
Right. Yeah.
Outer Banks, where we are,
out of work
it is
for a while.
very, very, very busy and lucrative right now. There's a lot of work, and there's a lot of shows happening here.
Well, similar
They
to
have a
Vancouver.
Netflix studio here.
Yeah, like you said, you can get the forest, you can get the water, you can get the city. There's so many things you can shoot here in North Carolina and make it look like it's New York or make it look like it's Midwest. Same thing.
Yeah.
And your house dollar goes a lot further too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I've heard. But during COVID, everyone from California moved out to Hawaii. They just bought it. So house prices shot up in Hawaii as well. So
Yeah.
Well,
So Ian, I'm sorry. I was going to ask you a acting question because I haven't talked to you since you did the 100.
Right.
I mean,
it's the 100, by the way. It's called not the 100. Bizarrely, we were never allowed the 100. It's the 100.
The 100.
Yeah.
So, okay, accent. Let's talk about that.
Yikes.
Because I have no shot at the Scottish accent. You were trying to teach me, you and your beautiful wife Annie, but you did the American accent or something. What is that?
Ow, that hurts, Scotty. I'll take it. I did something. You know what? It's in the future. Accents, they go this way and that way. And we were living, the idea was that all the different space stations in the world got together and so of course the accent would become something new. Accents are always developing and changing into something. I just want to talk about the film that I just finished. I'm
Yeah, I
playing.
want to hear about that.
So it's so when you talk about accents, I had to do a Spanish accent, and when I say Spanish, like from Spain, which was a real challenge. I'm half Peruvian, entonces
Right.
So you speak Spanish fluently.
sí, yo hablo español, but I had to do it with the theta. In Spain they have the gracias, que
Yeah.
hace. So I had to do that, which was a fantastic challenge. I loved it. The story is it's called Los Vampires, and back in the day, back in 1931, when they filmed Bela Lugosi Dracula, they would film it in the daytime, and then at nighttime they would have the Spanish cast come in and do the Spanish version. And that was a kind of a thing. Oh, wow. So it was like the night shift would come in. And there's a little bit of Hollywood history that I had no idea about. So we were doing, that's the start off for our movie, because that's a true thing. Huh. And that film was lost for a long time, and it was recently discovered in Cuba. I want to say like not that long ago, and had a revival, and everyone was like, "Oh, this is the Spanish version." And it was filmed like, so they filmed the English version or the American version in the morning, and then at nighttime, and then they would the Spanish team would look at the rushes and see what they did and change it ever so slightly and make it their own. So people said, in hindsight, that the Spanish version, although it was shot more interestingly and better directed, Bela Lugosi is still Bela Lugosi. You can't beat Bela Lugosi. I think, in my opinion, he's still the best Dracula, of the time.
Yeah, out of all the Draculas.
He made it his
iconic.
Yes, exactly, iconic. Thank you for that word. Anyway, so that's where our movie starts off, but then things happen and it comes into a thriller and a murder and a whodunit. It's a really cool film, but it's mainly shot. Most of us are speaking in Spanish because we were playing the Spanish cast at nighttime. It was a lot of fun.
That's cool.
Wow. Is this the first time that you've had? Is this the first time you've gotten to
speak in Spanish?
Use your Spanish?
Sí, primera vez.
That's sort of cool because it's natural for you. So it's got to be really fun to do.
Natural in the sense that I grew up speaking Spanish, but my level of Spanish was like the level of a second grader. What time? ¿Qué hora vamos a comer? ¿Dónde están mis da, 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 So it never, So it was a real challenge. I had to work on it. And interestingly enough, everyone else who spoke Spanish on it was feeling the same thing. They were all like Dominicans, Cubans, Mexicans, who had never acted in Spanish before. And they were like,
And Spanish, correct me if I'm wrong, is a little different depending on where you are. So you probably have to make some adjustments.
The accents are very different, and the way they say things are very different as well.
Yeah, like you said earlier, it's when I think about people from South America, Central America, or Mexico, and versus Spain, you mentioned that sound, the TH. It is different. You can totally hear the difference between a European Spanish and
we used that in the show. Like one of the actors of "You got a lisp?" It's not a lisp.
Oh my gosh!
Barcelona.
Yes, gracias. ¿Qué dices?
So Ian, what's the name of the movie?
It's called Los Vampires.
Los Vampires. And when's it expected to be out?
I'm not sure actually. When will it come out? Soon. I think it's going to be fast.
Now you're just acting in it, but I know you have the capability of directing and writing and such. Were you involved in any other way?
And I directed quite a few short films. I've just actually directed a short film in Hawaii, which I hope to finish as soon as I head back. I'm heading back neck week, so I'll finish that.
He's an award winner, by the way. We should throw that out there.
Oh, thank you. Yes,
I think was it The Dress? Was that the name of it?
It was Dress. Yeah, that's right. Did you
just Dress? So just stop saying "the" on everything that you're involved in.
Yeah.
The Lost. Yeah. Don't say that.
It's not The Lost. It's just Lost. It's
okay.
It's just Dress.
And by the way, I wanted to throw out. I was going to ask Ian. I never got to talk to you after you won the award for the short film. Was it the voice on the radio in the background that really put it over the top?
Well, when people say, well, this is quality, I know that voice because I also started to do the opening voice on the radio. He goes, what was that? Hey, it's 1 to 2, Makapu. So you did the opening credits, as the day starts, it's Scotty B on the radio. Did you say Scotty B?
It was very impactful. That movie. because it takes twists and turns, and it happens so quickly because it's a short film.
Yeah.
But he's a great storyteller. You got to watch that Dress, not The Dress.
Dress.
Yeah.
We're gonna watch it. But
Okay.
you're still busy doing stuff, even in Hawaii, unfortunately, due to the tax credits. But what else do you have going on? So we have the
So the reason I'm in LA is I've got an interview. I did my first audiobook. You guys have done audiobooks, I'm sure.
yeah.
I
I
Yes,
did.
have not. I'm
I
waiting
have.
for a call,
What?
Ian.
You haven't done it? Oh my gosh. Well, I did an audiobook, and I think I don't know what the test for being dyslexic is, but
Hmm.
I think I might be dyslexic because I couldn't read one sentence without messing it up. It was just like it's hard when when you're doing a book. It's a lot of work. Anyway, I just heard it. It sounds great. I'm amazed how well they made me sound. There must be a machine they put you through and just cleans everything up. Uh,
No, you have a great voice.
You
Stop.
do.
You
What
do.
is
you
the
guys should be
book?
doing, Scott. You should be doing it. Anyway, it's called Caretaker. It was written by it's a book that was written by J.R. Halbert, and it's just come out. We've done the voice, the book, but I think it's a series, so they're gonna do some more. They're even talking of making a TV
Oh,
show. So anyway, go check it out. It's just out on Audible. So
so
Okay, for sure.
I'm curious how you get a gig like that. Is that something that your agent says, "Hey, I got this
it's
thing," or
it's one of those things that I have no idea how I got it. I have no idea. You know what I mean? It's just like somebody phones up and said, "You want to do a book?" You're like, "Yes, I'd love to." So yeah, I have no idea how that happened. But
By
yes, it
the way,
was true.
the wind is blowing here. Is it annoying everybody? Can
No,
you hear that?
Oh,
No, we don't
can't
hear
hear it
it.
at all.
No.
you have a good mic.
Well, Ian,
Yeah.
I was going to say just myself, I'm a huge fan of Lost, and it's interesting the way that the whole medium has changed. I mean, when I think about the whole concept of Netflix and binging and everything that happened sort of, let's say, over COVID, uh, Lost was one of those primary shows. It was like 24, it was Lost, it was Prison Break. Those were the shows that everybody was week to week waiting to watch. And
Yeah.
now suddenly people could binge watch, a Game of Thrones or something like that and just watch them all in a row. And Lost is really the first binge-worthy show that I
Oh
can
yeah.
of. Can you guys think of anything else that would even precede that?
Uh,
No.
well, well, I used to binge. Well, it's kind of what you're saying is interesting because I kind of miss. We're
From
watching a lot of stuff now. There's week to week, and I enjoy the waiting for it.
Me
It's
too.
frustrating, but at the same time, I'm excited to. I know what days the shows come on,
Yep.
and when Mobland, for example, Mobland. Oh, right, I know when that's out, or when I watch, other things. The binging, I think it got too much because you'll find you fall asleep in it, and you miss the moments.
Wow.
It's just like blah, you just take it all in, and you miss the detail. I find and then you've watched the whole thing and you've got no one to chat. What I loved about
Yeah.
episode week to week
That was
read,
it, because we would
but
talk about it every
you know,
single episode, right, Scotty? I
exactly
mean,
that was
we
the big
dove
fun.
in.
What do you think? What do you think's happening? And
Yeah.
you see
Yes.
that look on
And
TV.
people get mad if they haven't seen the episode. But the other thing I found rewatching Lost was that the cliffhangers, which you stuck with you for an entire week, you can
Right.
quickly answer like,
Yeah.
what happens there? Oh, well, let me watch the first part of this next episode, and you don't have to, as you said, sit on it and
Yeah.
contemplate and wonder and talk it over with friends and all those fun things that used to be a big part of watching TV.
Yeah.
No,
No,
those
I prefer having gone through the binging because sometimes when the binge it just happens so fast. You don't appreciate it. I find I don't appreciate it as much as waiting each week, waiting for the next episode, you know.
Do you remember the very first time when you came out to Hawaii and moved out to Hawaii? Do you remember what it was like? Because like you've never lived in Hawaii, correct?
Never visited, never
Right?
even thought about if it is.
What was that first year? I mean, like really, like what was the first
Not
year?
everybody, not everybody grabs onto it, and
Yeah, they just
takes on it.
don't.
Well, you see,
Here
I
you
fell
are,
out.
you still live in Hawaii.
I came out to do 3 episodes, and so I grew up in Trinidad in the West Indies. So as soon as I arrived, I was like, I know this. This is, and I'd been living, I'd been a struggling actor in England. I was heavily in debt. I was £100,000 in debt, and I was kind of giving up on. Anyway, so when I booked Lost, and I thought it was only 3 episodes, but when they made me a series regular, and I could give my kids, my 3 sons, and my wife a taste of what life would of that life. It was just it's life changing. You guys lived there, what
Yeah,
it's
we
everything
know.
changes, and it's just one of the most I still live there, and I'm still excited. You know what I mean? I wake up in the morning and I go, oh, you never get tired of
You
looking at
never do.
sunsets or the moon or or the
The
beach.
white
I,
owls, the
you
white
know,
owls, those white elusive owls. Did you see them?
I've never seen those. I'll look
What?
up.
Oh my gosh, the
But every
Hawaiian
day
white
that
owls.
the landscape changes, so you're always like, oh my god, this is just incredible. So I never get tired of it, and I'm still. But you the first moment, yeah, it's just surreal. It's you can't believe it's like winning the lottery. You're like, I get to do this show and live here.
Yeah.
That's just it's just bonkers. But I'm so. Don't you guys miss it? You guys must miss it.
Oh, all the time. All
No.
the time.
Yeah,
It's
definitely do.
special. We
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
both
is
do.
a nice place.
It's
Yeah.
it's that's why, like when we were so excited when Seth said, let's call Ian. I was like, yes, oh my gosh. I finally get to meet Ian. I've only heard about you so many damn
Right.
times
And
in
then
the
the choir
choir.
scene. Yeah, that's right. Through the choir.
By the
Yeah.
way, his son Lucas taught me a word one time. We were taking the kids, our sons, to one of the choir performances, and I said, "Oh, what's your dad working on right now?" And he said something about he was auditioning to be a baddie,
A
and
baddie?
I'd never heard that term. I said, "What did he say?" And a baddie, and he's trying to say it and make me understand by just repeating the word. I go, "I don't understand what baddie is." Can you
Really?
explain?
Never
Can you
heard of
explain what a baddie is?
you never heard of Baddie? Come
You
I
never
on.
heard of
never
this,
heard
baddie?
that.
Goody. You never played the goodies and the baddies? I don't want to be the baddie. I want to be the goodie.
No, it
You
was bad guy or whatever, but that's what it ultimately came down to. I just never heard the term.
no, we what
He's a
was that?
baddie.
I don't want to
At
be a
least
bad.
he didn't say zaddy, right, Alan?
Yeah.
Zaddy something else.
Yeah. Wait, so
No
Ian,
idea. What's a zaddy?
Oh,
oh, it's isn't that like a slang term for like a hot dad or something like
yeah,
that?
that's what
Oh,
that
a
is.
zaddy.
So
Yeah.
there's
That's
a
not a bad thing.
zaddy,
I
there's
like
a
a definition
Bad
for a
guy.
zaddy. I've never heard a zaddy.
there's zaddies.
Oh,
Yeah.
what is that? Where does the Z come from?
I
Yeah.
don't even,
I don't know. It's
I
somehow
don't
the
know.
dad bod
You
is.
do know. You just don't want to say.
No,
Okay.
I really
Wait, so Ian,
don't.
You're,
so your
I
son
was,
is also an actor?
yeah, I was gonna say I know he's a musician,
So Lucas
singer.
is in Scotland. Yeah, he's trying to break through in the music scene. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
that's awesome. What kind of music does he play?
what's it's very beautifully depressing music. You know,
Emo? Like
has that
we
kind of
like
this.
the
He has like he sounds like the Smiths. He has a voice like Morrissey.
Oh, yeah.
So, but yeah, he's it's just so hard. I think even a musician, it's even harder than being an actor. I think because everyone can make something at home, put it out. So there's just so much music out there.
So is he, wait, no, where does is he in Hawaii also with you?
Oh, he's in Glasgow. So two of my sons are in Hawaii, and one Lucas is in Glasgow, in Scotland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'd say we'd give him a little like radio,
Oh, will
shout
you
out.
please? Yes, give him some. Give him
Yeah,
some airtime.
yeah.
Absolutely. I'll send Scotty some tracks and see
Yeah,
what.
what
Send him
is?
some.
How can we look his stuff up? Is there
Oh,
a?
Yeah.
it's on Spotify. He goes under the name of Sakul, which I told him, it's
Sackle?
It
S A.
just rolls off the tongue.
It's Lucas backwards. So I used to make up
Oh,
stories about him as a
okay.
kid. And like when he was naughty, I go, and then Sakul did this, and then he got eaten by the tiger. And so Sakul was his like the naughty boy, but it's just Lucas backwards.
No,
And he
it's
kept it.
Lucas
He
backwards.
kept it.
I
Can't
can't. Okay.
So
That's
Sackle
awesome.
is a baddie, is what you're saying.
It's a bad.
Sakul's the bad, is the naughty. Sakul is a naughty boy.
And you're not E. I don't know. That's something.
Naughty boy.
Goodies
No,
and
not
baddies.
E. Okay.
Do people still call you brother? If like when you're out, like do people
You
in
know what?
LA
They
like
do. They call me brother a lot, and you know what? I've started responding and calling them
I
brother.
would too.
All right,
Was
brother.
that in the script or was that just
That
something
was
that
totally
you?
on the script. That was
Oh,
all.
okay.
That was nothing to do with me. Because in America, everyone calls you all call each other brother. Hey, bro, and especially in Hawaii, right?
Oh,
Brother.
yeah.
It's always
So
brother.
everyone's brother. That's right.
Everyone's brother.
I should have
Yeah.
said it. I should have said brother. But yeah, so it was something in the script. But when you hear it in a Scottish accent, brother, it just goes,
Is it
what?
so weird though still like even I mean because it is 20 years. I mean and you've done so many other things, but still it was the biggest television show in history. Even The Constant, you won an award for that. That's legendary. That was like you made history with that and you know that. You should do
Thank you. I didn't actually win an award for that, but it is highly rated as one of the best episodes on Lost
yeah.
as a standalone episode. And Yeah, no, I'm very proud of it. I didn't write it. I just was in it, so people go, oh, it was the best episode. I just acted it. I didn't write it, but of course, as an actor, you can make things go a certain way. I'm super proud of that show. I'm very grateful. That show gave me my career because
Yeah.
I came to Hawaii and that was my first American TV show. And it was in Hawaii and it was on the biggest show in the world at the time.
Yeah.
And then where do you go after that, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
where
where I
do
was
you go
going with
after
this.
that?
It's got to be so difficult because, again, that was, and it still is today, the best television show I've ever watched. And not just because you guys are part of my Ohana, like, you know what I'm saying? It
Yeah,
was phenomenal. And even other television shows, when somebody's telling me about a new show that's coming up, oh, you'll like it. It's sort of like Lost.
right.
It does
Like,
get
what
so
was that show,
competitive.
Alan, right?
Yep, it's so
Yeah.
true.
But it's
They
got to be hard,
well, they
Like,
did it a lot, right? Once there's a hit, everyone goes, "Well, let's make the next Lost," and you go, "Well, you can't do that because that's
You
like
can't.
magic in a bottle. You don't. The rule should be if that was that, you do the opposite because you can't replicate that.
So I have to ask, when you were given the part, you said it was a limited,
3 episodes.
originally limited 3 episodes. So
Yeah.
you had no idea where this was going at the
No.
time. How far in advance, once you were signed on for more, did you have any clue as to where the plot was leading, or was it just a mystery every week?
No, no, I had no idea. And at the end of every season, I'd reach out and say, My kids are at school. Am I going to be here next season? I
Yeah.
need to make some arrangements, right? So that was the kind of conversation, yeah, nobody knew. The rule of thumb was if you bought a house, you're going to get killed off.
yeah, they say that in radio too, by the way, just FYI.
Is that right? If you
Yeah.
get comfy, you're
The
out.
minute that you purchase a house and you're a DJ on the radio,
Right.
your ratings tank and you're out and you got to move somewhere else. That's just how it is, I think. I don't know. Scotty and I have never encountered that. We were always like pretty consistent, but that's
Yeah,
always like what they say.
that is really funny.
Keep
So,
them lean, mean, hungry. Don't get too comfy. Right.
so
Yeah.
Ian, was it? Gosh, I want to say the guy's name was Damien. Was
Damon
producing?
Lindelof, Carlton Cuse. So
Yeah,
Carlton Cuse was the neighbor. Okay, so I'm friendly with Brian Cox, and so I met Carlton Cuse one day. We were doing something in Carlton's garage, and he said, "Oh, my neighbor's got a new car. It's the Prius. Come check it out." So we thought we'd never seen it. The Prius had just come out. We went out, and there was Carlton Cuse, and they said, all I heard was he's some runner, and in the UK, a runner is the equivalent of a PA. And I thought he's kind of old to be a runner. He's got a fancy house. Anyway, we chatted for a while. He seemed very grumpy and then that was it. And then I booked the show, and then he reached out saying, "Oh, I've got scripts or checks coming to his house for me, Ian Cusick, because they were going to Brian's house. My mail was going to Brian's house, but there was a link there, so that's how we first met. Before I got the show, so." I always feel like when there was a little seed planted or something. There was something happening there, but
yeah.
yeah, it was
Wow.
but what was your question about Carlton? Damon, sorry.
No, you know what? I ended up meeting him at some event that was at Punchbowl Cemetery. And when I realized who he was, we chatted briefly because we would do the updates on Lost. And I said, "Do you have any idea where the show's going, honestly?" And he goes, "I know the last scene. I
Yeah,
know exactly how it's going to
yeah.
be filmed.
Oh yeah.
Yes, is the answer." So I guess there were people that were, moving things forward to an ultimate ending. But there were times where it seemed like it went places and we didn't know why.
So it's like, when you tell your kids a story, you kind of know where you're going to go, but they'll say, halfway they go, no, no, don't do that. Make him this or make him that. And you're going to go, okay, so he was this, he didn't fall off the cliff. He survived. And then he came back. So I think it's exactly the same. And also you got to remember, people left the show. People didn't want to be on the show. So you got to make arrangements. For example, when I turned up, they liked what I did. They said, "Well, keep him around," because I wasn't supposed to be a regular. Nor was Michael Emerson. When Michael Emerson turned up, they were like, "Oh my God, this guy's amazing. We'll keep him." Um,
He was great too.
Yeah.
Michael Emerson,
Yeah.
terrific. We had
So,
a
yeah.
great bunch of actors on that show, and people left. So they were just always, making meandering. I do know that their final shot they wanted was of Matthew Fox with his eye opening. That was
Yep.
his, but so. Yeah. So yeah, I guess the meandering of the storyline, um, yeah.
What was it like working for J.J. Abrams and all that bad robot stuff? He went on to so many other things after Lost.
Bizarrely, I didn't. I only met J.J. Abrams once at some
Really?
Emmy event. Yeah, I never. Yeah, we never. He never came to set. I mean, it really was Damon and Carlton who did that show. For me, when I turned up in season two. Damon had just done season one, and then he went off, I think, to do either Star Wars or Star Trek or something, or Mission Impossible, I think, something. Big. He went into movies.
Mhm.
So
You know,
I never really worked with him. I never met him. I met him once.
Evangeline Lilly, she at one point had made this big proclamation that she was leaving acting.
Yeah.
And then she just kept going, didn't she?
Wait, hang on. When did she do that in Hawaii?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think it was shortly after
It
that.
was
And
just
then,
after Lost ended. She's like, I'm done. I'm getting out of acting.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, because I just heard she's just done it recently. I thought she's
Oh,
done
she
it.
did it again.
She
Okay,
did it
well,
Did it
again.
again.
I think she did. She
I don't
talked
know.
about it on our show with us.
she's
Oh,
like Brett Favre
how
retiring, I
you had
think.
Evie on the show? You had Dan. I can't
I
believe
know. We've had Jorge.
I'm what? And you never
Yes.
had me. That's incredible.
You
Anyway,
know.
Evie's just recently said she's giving up acting. So
Okay,
All right.
we'll see.
I think
I,
she's
We'll
I think
when
I
the
she's
don't
next
believe it. Okay,
when the
listen, now
next
that you,
Ant-Man comes out, we'll see.
okay, being that you still are in Hawaii and we haven't been there in a hot minute, what's the favorite restaurants for you right now? Tell me. Like,
gosh.
just and describe to me. I wanted to talk a little food. We have to. Okay, you're hearing it.
I'll tell you where I get my food from. I get my poke from Foodland.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
Oh yeah. Foodland has the best poke.
oh
Yeah,
yeah, underrated.
Yep.
yeah. And where else do I get my food from? I don't really cross the pally very much. I try to stay.
Really?
I try to
Not
stay.
even for the view?
No, I pretty much stay in Kailua as much as
Really?
you know
Well,
what
I
I
mean, I
mean.
would too. Kailua is so beautiful. Like Loni Kai is, you got it all going on over there.
Crossing the pally, you kind of go, oh, really? If I don't have to, you
What's that
know.
place that has the best macadamia nut pancakes over in Lani Kai?
And oh, hang on, what's got the best macadamia pancakes and
I forgot the name of it.
oh,
It's
cinnamon? Is it cinnamons?
it could be Cinnamon's.
Oh,
I don't
that's that. I've been there. Yeah, that's really
It's
good.
like the best macadamia nut
Yeah,
pancakes.
yeah.
So interesting. We were talking about Hawaii the first couple of episodes, and I know for them, I went to Hawaii when I was like 12 or 13. So for me, I just remember being a kid at one of those resorts, and it was amazing. With my parents, I'd never been there as an adult, but I always like think about what it would be like to live in Hawaii, and I was always surprised that both Hudson and Scotty left. But you're still there, obviously. But it seems so beautiful the way you talked about it. Just every night you can just watch the sunsets, you can just see the tropical waters. But they were
Yeah.
getting like a little island stir crazy, but I can't imagine ever getting island stir crazy there. It's so gorgeous.
It hits some people hard. Some people just need to get off the rock. I'm
Yep.
the opposite. I hate flying, so every time I leave, it's a big thing. Bizarrely, getting to Hawaii, I'm always like, "Oh, this is a good flight." I'm like, "Oh, fine, I get." And then you come up and you always go, "Oh," no." But getting on the plane to go
Because you
somewhere,
know what you're about to
Yeah.
smell the
yeah.
minute
But when
you
you get on the plane to go to the mainland, you're kind of like, "Oh my God, I'm
there's
so."
that smell. It's that feeling of the
I
air.
yeah,
Like
Yeah.
it's just all of it is so
the
intoxicating.
heat that hits you and the smell. You come off the plane, and it's just that feeling where you just almost immediately just go, "Oh." It's
Yeah.
just relief.
You
And
know,
just to be clear, Alan, I never left because of any sort of rock fever or island fever or any like that. I miss it. I missed it the day I left it. So
yeah,
yeah, it was for more
financial reasons.
significant, well,
Yeah.
family reasons. It wasn't just financial. We had a tragedy in our family and needed to be closer to the rest. So yeah, that's what led me away, not because of anything to do with Hawaii.
Right.
Yep, same here. I had a kid working. I
Yeah,
miss
well,
it.
Yeah.
I tell
I
you,
feel like that here in North Carolina, just because we're near the water and it's just there's beaches everywhere. And it changes your mindset, I think. Los Angeles had beaches too, but it was a very different place. And for film too, it was interesting. We were talking about that before, but I've so many of my clients are in entertainment, and no matter what, it's not just the actors, it's the peripherals. It's all of the marketing people, the PR people, the production people. Everybody's losing, their insurance. They haven't worked in over a year, and productions are just not happening in Los Angeles, and it sounds like not Hawaii either. But I guess we're, sort of like what we were saying with the podcasting and the radio thing, we're watching a transition. the entertainment industry right now, and probably blending with AI and how people are going to consume content. It's very, very unique.
Yeah. I think things are interesting. Like, we just don't know how things are going to transition. When people talk about AI, I'm on the SAG-AFTRA National Board, and we're putting in protections. One of the things was, the DGA had a director must be a human being as one of their things, and you think that's such an obvious thing.
Yeah, you would think that's an obvious thing.
That's another thing, but it's such an important thing, because it was only recently that SAG-AFTRA had a radio performer, performer must be a human being, if you're SAG-AFTRA,
Yeah,
so,
well, that's us.
that's you guys, right? But you
That is
guys
a
are
good word for us, because
not.
we actually, this is one of the things in our last episode, we talked about the reinvention hustle. And it doesn't matter whether you're an actor, whether you're on the radio, whether you're a garbage man.
Yeah.
Everything in the world is changing right now. And we really, truly all do not know how this is going to play out for us. So,
yeah.
With that being said, you gotta use what you've got. Like, what is it that you can do as a little side hustle? Whether it's you doing cameos, you know what I mean?
I do cameos.
Correct.
Or your
Correct.
son, your son is band going into the music industry. I look at how bands are breaking. We've been watching music videos, they're all on YouTube. There's no more MTV. And record labels are sort of breaking apart too. And so people are self-producing their own music, they're making their own music videos. And they have a lot more control than they used to have, and how they distribute to Spotify and other platforms. So I'm kind of, it's kind of an interesting time to be a musician. I'm sure he has some stories as well.
Yeah, Hudson, I really like what you said, actually, about this thing of things are transitioning, how, you can have a little pity party about, oh, isn't it awful? Everything's, changing. It's so hard. It's not like what it used to be in your day, Dad. But you're right. You just hustle. This is the situation. Deal with it. What are you going to do? How are you going to figure out your own path and thing? So I think that is actors we've always been resilient. We know how to take a rejection. I'm sure you guys.
How many no's before you get the yes? And most people never get the yes.
Exactly.
I mean, honestly. So, I mean, all that rejection that has built up some really good thick skin for you. But I truly believe that everybody has it in them to do something. Everybody is good at something, and however you apply that, that could be your side hustle.
Yeah, exactly. You can't be waiting for someone to give you a break, a tax incentive, a benefit. You figure it out. So you start making short films, or you make low budget films, or you do something. Because you're just going to do it. But I 100% agree with you. That's a really good lesson to the kids if you're listening.
That's right.
There you go.
My dad had this thing, Scott, just real fast, where you would put this glass of water on the table and you'd say, Alan, if you want to move this glass from here to here, the only one who moves it is you. If you're thinking someone else is going to move it for you, they won't. And I think we're living in times right now where people have a lot more control than they think to do side projects, become entrepreneurs, launch podcasts if they want to launch podcasts, or make music, or make independent.
I agree. I feel like I'm coming to the end of my career, so I'm kind of cool with all of that, and I don't really know too much about stuff. I mean, I'm still going to do stuff till I drop, but if I were young, I'd be investigating AI and how to make short films, and I've been investigating all of this stuff to get ahead.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. Well, I was kind of going to ask that. I mean, I know that DDK, we referred to him earlier, Daniel Day Kim. I believe he is nominated for a Tony. I know he's been doing stage work.
Yeah.
Is that something that you've thought about as well? I know Annie is very involved, your wife, with productions.
Yeah. She's still, she's actually got a few plays in mind. Hopefully, maybe one going to Broadway. But to your question, have I? I haven't been interested. I'd go to the theater and I'd watch a play and I'd go, I'd love to do that, but for one night only. I don't want to do it for 6 months or 3 months. The idea of doing that for that length of time just doesn't really appeal, unless it's a new piece of writing and it's a small, intimate space and it's just that. But doing a big show like I'm not in. That just doesn't appeal to me. I much prefer doing, and I'm much more comfortable on a film set, doing a short film, helping some people and some kids out in Hawaii do short films. That is where my heart lies, But doing Broadway, of course, if I get the opportunity, yes. But that's not something I'm going to actively pursue.
Hey, I could see you in Cats.
Yeah,
no, I
could see you in Cats, but there's nothing greater. That's another thing about Hawaii. the Hawaii International Film Festival. That's where I met
Mm,
Quentin Tarantino.
yeah,
Wow, I didn't he came out there. Wow.
Yeah, he
yeah.
came out for I can't even remember. He came out with oh my gosh, from Crouching Tiger. What was that
Hidden
movie?
Dragon.
Hidden Dragons.
Something. It was that was that year, whatever that year was. I can't even remember, but I was
Oh,
working for E-Television at the time and I was filming, and so I had we did a but it was the best, the Hawaii film. There's nothing like it. No other
Yeah.
film festival is like that.
yeah. No, it's a great film festival. No, sadly, they just got a lot of their funding cut. Uh,
Ugh.
yeah. Anyway, but yes, it was a great. Let's see what they do. Let's see how they pivot and see what they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, I am terrible at telling the truth, apparently, because I told him, 15, 20 minutes. We'll get you in and out. This will be easy. But
He
we
didn't
can't stop
let you go.
talking
We
to
didn't
you.
want to keep up your time. We were so excited to talk to you and see your face. And
It's so great, because Hudson, I've never met you.
I
Uh,
know.
so when you meet somebody and when you hear someone's voice, you always mentally picture, you know, someone, but
Okay,
so
am I what you pictured?
not at all. No.
Really? How did you pick? Okay, please and
Can
be
I just
honest.
tell you? All I'm going to say is you're far more beautiful than I pictured you.
Oh my God.
Oh, how about me?
You're
Same
being
thing,
so
right?
kind,
I
honestly.
imagine Scotty. I told you. I imagine you like with an open shirt and a gold medallion and like a big, thick black hair, like a guy with shades. Because that's what
We
your
had
voice
blue
sounded like to me.
blockers.
That is,
Wow.
Be with Hudson. Like I've been out with her so many times where people have recognized her voice. It's so distinct.
Right.
It
Yeah.
really is.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that's the weirdest thing at a restaurant when someone's like, "I know that voice," and they're
Oh,
like, "No,
really? Big fan.
Oh, all the time.
oh
Yeah,
yeah."
Scotty and we would be talking anywhere and be like, oh my God. Because they may not have they never, they didn't see us. They would just listen to us
Yeah.
on the radio.
Mhm. Of course.
So, Ian, tell us one, before we let you go here, tell us one thing about yourself that nobody knows. Now, we learned about you, speak Spanish and Peruvian. We learned a lot of that stuff. We can
Nobody
read all
knows.
that on
Not
the
even
internet.
my
Like,
wife. Wow.
well,
That's
Something
okay,
really
your
cool.
your wife can know, I guess.
okay. I'm a drummer in a band called Chan Chan Yaki, and we
What?
play around Kailua, lots of dive bars and lots of not so divey bars. So
What?
that
You
yeah.
are lying to us.
No, and DDK was our lead singer for a very short time.
No, he wasn't. Well, he loves music. Like his brother's really into music too. He
Right.
came in and filled in and played Hudson for a day. He
Yeah.
came in and did my show because I had to go to LA with my kid. And so he came in and Scotty was off and he filled in for me. I swear to God.
Yeah.
I swear.
Remember
See,
something like
that's what
that.
you miss out on our friendship.
Hey, he's got a very good voice as well.
He does.
He
Oh,
could have
wait, so he was the lead singer?
Yeah, he was the lead singer for a short time, but then he's been so busy we couldn't, we needed to
Okay,
arrange.
what's the name of the band?
Wow.
I want everyone to go and find your band.
Okay, it's called Chan Chan Yaki, which means salmon with vegetables. We got it all.
Chen Yaki. Okay. And which dive bars? What's your favorite dive bar? Because I know them all in Kailua.
Board Ride is shut. Remember Board Riders in Kailua?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, it's no longer there. So that used to be. But we play, and there's another place. A friend of mine has a bar called Boardroom, the Boardroom in
The
Kailua.
boardroom. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Wow.
and it's a cool bar. They have some great. If you ever come back, you go there for the cocktails. The cocktails are great.
Yeah.
Okay. For all of our friends in Hawaii streaming us and listening to this podcast, and you're in Hawaii,
Yep.
Chen Yaki, you've
Yeah.
got to go and say hello to Ian for us and send us some video.
All right, yeah.
Send
Do
us
that,
some
yeah.
Hudson Hot with 2 T's on Instagram. I got to see you're playing. I can't. This is amazing.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, we're looking forward to it. Hit us again with the name of the movie that we're going to see you in
Is
soon.
Lost Vampires
Lost
Okay.
Vampires.
And
the audiobook
yes,
Caretaker,
Caretaker.
and then the
Okay.
band Chan Yaki.
And of course, and don't forget Lucas spelled backwards.
Saku.
Oh, yeah. We're going to look up your kid.
Saku.
Yeah, check him out on Spotify.
Yeah.
Yes, go. Yes, get him some more plays. Yeah,
Yeah,
Saku.
I'll send him a little message telling me he's very lucky he's got a cool dad. And we're only checking him out because of you. I got you.
All right, thank you. I appreciate you guys.
Oh, thank you so much. This
So
feels
lovely
like
to
old
meet you
times.
all. Well,
Love you.
except
Love-
Scotty, and Scotty, lovely to see you again.
Yes.
Hudson, lovely to meet you. Alan, lovely to meet you. Okay. So thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Sure.
Thank you
Brother.
so
All
much,
right.
Ian.
Enjoy the rest of your day. All
Bye,
right.
Okay.
Ian.
See you
Aloha.
later.
Aloha.
So awesome, Scotty.
He's the best. He's
Like,
one of those dudes, just a good dude.
you just got a chance to like reconnect because you were friends with
Yeah.
him. I was friends with
Yeah.
Daniel Day Kim, you know? And so
Yeah.
like, you know, over the years.
Well, when we get Daniel on, we'll ask him about driving our golf cart into a bridge.
What?
Yes, don't let him drive. That's what I'm going to say about
Oh
Daniel Day Kim.
my gosh.
And then he turned to me and said, "Don't say anything about the stereotypes."
I
That was funny.
can't. I
Oh,
just can't.
God.
Now I'm gonna want to know more about that.
No,
That's
we're definitely
DDK's
gonna do
humor.
that. I was gonna ask him, but we didn't get a chance to, because you know how like on my Facebook, it's always weird conventions coming through. Like it used to be like Comic-Con, and now there's like ones from TV shows, and all these people are touring. If you were on a hit TV show, the cast members like will appear at these conventions. And I'm
Oh
wondering if
yeah.
there's like lost conventions. I would think so.
Yeah.
Do you think there's
Yeah.
I mean, it's 20 years. Do you think there's still lost conventions?
I don't know. I mean,
Probably,
Oh,
right?
I don't know if there's conventions. I know there's Facebook groups and such where people go and they still make comments and post pictures, and people are invested in that show even to this day.
Yeah, no, I know.
Finding out another little tidbit, a little nugget that they saw or something. Yeah,
It's so cool.
great.
I still can't believe where you are right now. I'm looking. Did you have a nice
Yes.
Father's Day, by the way? You guys are
Uh,
traveling.
yeah, we were traveling on Mother's Day. How about you?
Oh, I had the nicest Mother's Day. Maybe one of the best ones I've ever had, you know?
Yeah.
The guys like really treated me so great, you know, with the gifts, but just being together, we went out to the Outer Banks to this like little hole in the wall place and got fried food, which, you know, how
yeah.
could you not love some really freshly caught fried
Wait
food
a
out of
minute.
shrimp?
Wait a minute. Fried food in the South? What are you talking about?
I know it was so good. And hush puppies, homemade hush puppies. So yeah, it was awesome.
Awesome. I have a friend who does not eat vegetables at all.
Oh,
And here, I mean, everything's fried. I don't know how you don't eat vegetables, even if they're fried. So
right.
bizarre. You
At
can
least
fry
have fried
everything.
zucchini.
Isn't
Yeah.
it interesting, guys? You know, when we were talking about it in that other episode about the side hustles, and you
Hmm.
sort of the same thing today about you got to just throw things at the wall, accept that the world has changed. And, you know, as an actor, I mean, I remember writing a book and, you know, looking at people to do voiceovers for the audiobook. And as an actor, what a great side hustle to do.
Yeah.
And you guys could do the same thing. You both have those radio voices as well, you know, but it's an extra way to make money because no one has a voice like yours. And I thought that was really cool.
I thought, he has obviously a quality voice and with
He
the
does.
accent and all the great. And I think
And
a
he's a
lot of times,
nice dude.
and a lot of times, I think, and this was I'm glad you brought this up because I had a comment on that episode from someone asking, it said those side hustles were great. I didn't even think of a lot of those things. But how do you market yourself if you have one of those talents? How do you get word out there that you're willing and able to do those things?
Yep.
What are your thoughts, Alan?
Alan, yeah, Alan, you're the expert. How do you do that?
As an actor, I think you have to be willing to. It's like when movie stars started doing television, and you don't, and now you see huge stars on television shows or in commercials.
Yep,
But for a
that's
Yeah.
right.
long time, we didn't see that. Like movie stars would never, like Matthew McConaughey, who we saw here in North Carolina like a month ago.
Yeah. It would be like levels. You got the movie stars, and then you got this and that and stage, and
commercials maybe at the end or something
yeah,
like that. And
But what about a regular, I mean, what about for somebody who is, sales, just random. They do sales. How do they market themselves? What, you know what I mean?
Yep. Oh, no, no. If you can sell, I mean, I think about a session I had last week, but I was talking to this client and he was so smart. He's a young guy and he could do anything because I remember like he was being compared to Ferris Bueller. You know, if you ever saw Ferris Bueller's Day Off, because the kids loved him, the teachers loved him, he kind of ran the school. And when I see people like that have that kind of charisma, if you can do that, AI can't replace you. Because if you
yeah,
can foster relationships with human beings you don't know, that's a skill set that a lot, especially younger people, don't really have. I always hear from bosses that the younger people are really bad in person. They're good at chatting and emailing, but when you talk to them in person, they become very uncomfortable.
right.
Scotty? What are you looking at? Is somebody after you?
I want you to. I really. You know how that little. We talked about the little demon on our shoulder sometimes.
Oh yeah.
I
Yes.
don't know if you can see back here. Let me see if I can switch this camera around. I want you to appreciate what
It's
I'm
so
looking.
Okay. Because you keep
Okay.
giving doing a side eye and
I
you're looking
can't. I can't.
uncomfortable.
I don't know if you can see it. There's a guy in a Speedo,
No, there
and
is not.
he's laying out near the Parthenon.
Let's walk over. Just
I
let's
wish
walk
I could.
over.
I wish I could.
Well, let's
It
get
doesn't.
walk
Wait,
over towards him.
This
but for
thing.
the sake of this, people who are listening to this as an audio podcast,
Yeah,
just understand
you can
we're
see it
sitting
on
here.
our YouTube page, which is Mike in Mind.
I'm
Yes,
going to get
we're watching
closer.
on YouTube, but you can listen to us
Yes,
on
Scotty.
Spotify
Oh
or
my
Apple
God, you're
or
pulling a Fernando
iHeart.
Malone machine. You're gonna casually walk past him in his
I'm
Speedo.
gonna. I'm gonna get a little. I'm gonna get about halfway there.
There's no way there's some guy in a Speedo right now.
Oh yeah, he's
Years
got a.
ago,
You're
no
watching
matter
on
what, Alan and Scotty will tell you, no matter where Scotty and I would go, I would take a photo of Scotty and it would be someone who had really bad camel toe. It would be in the background. And it became a running bit. Am I right, Scotty?
Yes. All right, you're gonna make me go talk to this guy.
No,
Yeah,
That's
just
not
go
gonna
up
happen.
and I
really?
can't even believe
We're
there's a
gonna have
guy
a surprise
laying
guest
out
on
in a
the show.
Speedo.
I'm just promoting the podcast,
It is
Dr.
so
Allen.
gorgeous where he is. Are you seeing those skies, Hudson? Like it's
I
pouring
know.
rain here, and it's like blue skies. Everything is amazing.
Okay. Oh, I see the
Oh,
towel.
I see the towel.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
no,
see the towel, but I can't see him.
I see him.
Let's
Yeah.
get a little closer.
Let's walk.
No.
Introduce ourselves.
At that point, then I have to introduce myself, and I really don't want to go that far.
What would you say? What would you say to
Scotty
this?
B.
I would say,
How's it?
I don't know. I would
Would you
say,
try to house it?
yeah, comfy.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna
Well, you
walk
know
away now.
what? What a fun hang today with Ian.
Yeah, that was
Ian
really
Yeah.
Cusick and the dude in the Speedo in the background, taking it all in.
Yeah. And the Parthenon. Nashville, Tennessee, that's where I am. Went last night for a traditional Nashville dinner. We went to a taco place. It
You
was
did
called,
not go to tacos.
we did. It was called Mamacita's. And get this, it was in Germantown.
okay.
And I ordered Peruvian chicken. So and now I'm at the Parthenon. Nothing says Tennessee experience
This is the
like
weirdest trip you're on.
the
And
B
the dude
family
in the Speedo in
vacation.
the background.
But we can talk about this in another episode. We were talking about this, Hudson. It's like now that we're in mid-May, this is the
Yeah.
time that people are planning their summer vacations. And I'm sure everyone has cool things that they like to do over the summer. If you have kids and they're off school, or just people tend to take their breaks. Especially if you're in Europe or something like that, listening to this, you're probably off for a couple months. Where do people go? Is it road trips? Is it plane trips? And to me, Nashville's a road trip, but how gorgeous is that location where he is right now? I know I've only gotten to drive through Nashville, but I'm so looking forward to taking a trip there. And for anyone listening, what are you guys doing this summer?
Yeah, well, that's a good. Why don't we have that as our post? People can comment. I know we love to read those
Yeah,
comments from
we
people
will. And
wherever
we'll
we
talk about it
post.
next week. We'll talk about
Yeah.
as I used to call myself, a bitch on a budget, because I am.
Oh yeah.
And we'll talk about some really great ways, like to go and do stuff on the cheap. That's not going to break the bank. Like things you're like, oh, I can't afford to do that. Oh yeah, you can. You'll be surprised. And we'll talk about it next week, and some maybe Wednesday.
Sounds good.
All
I'll
right.
be I'll
Safe
be at another
travels.
exciting location next on Wednesday. I'll see you from there. It's like, where in the world is Scotty B on vacation?
I love it. It's Mike and Mine. I'm Hudson Hot, Scotty Blaisdell, Alan